Morning, Lucy. How's it going?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good,
So you're coming out today?
Yeah, it's great to see you again. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Well, perfect conditions. We've got a little bit of, in fact, there's hardly any wind at all. A tiny bit of, almost sort of southerly. So it might be a little bit of swell, but we'll have a little look. But the visibility was really good yesterday. The colour on the cliffs is fantastic this time of year. So yeah, it should be a good day to see sort of under and out of the water.
Fantastic, but first things first, we should go and get a coffee or something.
Let's get a coffee and pastels.
Pastéis de nata, lovely. Just tying on a GoPro so I can get a bit of time lapse as we go out. It'd be great. What a GoPro contraption! This is brilliant.
I love this. GoPro.com.
Ocean Blue Sea Charters.
Sea Safari is the scheduled trip, and it really came from what we were doing in England when we were pulling up the lobster pots and mackerel fishing.
Okay.
So this was about 20 years ago we started doing the trips, but Sean's been building the catamarans since, I think like 1990.
Oh, right.
So it was quite an old company. So this one is number 500 for him.
Wow, 500 boats.
Number boats. I think now it's on about 700.
Crazy.
You're going to take a small rest, okay?
Okay.
Where is Bruno?
Oh, is he? And we've just masked it round.
Yeah, I know.
What's this called?
Look at
Artisan.
those croissants.
And this is Julie. Hi, Julie. How's it going?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Galão, se faz favor. Galão escuro, por favor.
Galão escuro.
Sim, se faz favor. Com menos leite.
Hey Bruno, you want a double?
E mais café para aquele senhor e pastel de nata.
Coffee's going through.
Perfect breakfast.
Lovely. Welcome to Lagos Marina. Last week we were in the eastern Algarve. This week we're in the western Algarve and going out on a boat trip with Lucy from Ocean Blue, Portugal. As you may have picked up, Lucy's husband Sean was originally a fisherman on the Isle of Wight, and in 1990 he designed a revolutionary catamaran that was super stable in the choppy waters around the island. He's since made 700 of them, as Lucy just explained. What a phenomenal success. I can't get over the story. It's amazing. And this is his largest version at 11.2 meters long, and we're heading out. It's called Sea Sophia.
But I do Portuguese. I'm speaking a bit of French, a bit Portuguese.
So
You're
who
waiting
were
for
you
me.
supporting for the football? The Spanish or the English? Did you watch it?
I was just the final 15 minutes.
Captain,
Perfect.
I was
Capitan, are you waiting for me?
2 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll be ready to go. How they go back on? Well, we got wind-wise, it doesn't matter so much.
It's a gorgeous day, isn't it? Hey, Julie, you don't get much rain and thunder around here, do you?
No, we don't. Yeah, every day we go out on the charters, it's amazing. The weather's been great. We've also seen some dolphins and
That one
orcas
can come off.
Oh,
Jules.
awesome.
on our
Orcas.
charters.
Jules, that
Yeah.
one can come off.
All right. Can you help me out here?
Jump on.
All aboard!
This is Bruno. He's a marine biologist and he works a lot around the Lagos and Villa de Bispo area. And we'll get to chat to him a little bit later about some of the interesting things happening around here, especially seaweed.
Wetter and windier, so there's a continuation now. Just winters are warmer and wetter. It's crazy. We're going now, so this is true to time. This is historic,
Okay.
so we can pick up the substrate on the bottom. So here you can see it's fairly flat and the signal is quite strong. So and you can see later on when we've got the reef, you can see the thermocline which moves around a bit. Probably a few lumps of seaweed. Sometimes you can see some mullet.
Okay. Yeah, boya and farm. Oh, right. Another lady wants to do the blueberry farm. I'm telling this right across, please. As we head out down the channel, it's worth mentioning that the Lagos Marina is celebrating its 30th year, having opened in 1994. It also includes a 4-star hotel called the Marina Club and a ton of pubs, bars and eateries along the marina's edge. It can get pretty lively, especially this past weekend when England was playing Spain in the UEFA Euro 2024 Football Cup. Wow, that's quite a mouthful. I actually watched a bit of that game. I'm not really a football fan myself, but many people are, and especially obviously in Portugal, it's the national game by far. So as we fly over, so you can see us just down below here on the left hand side. I think you just missed us actually, and we're carrying on, and on the right hand side you can see 2 hotels with a little strip of blue there. That's the Hotel Avenida Lagos, which is a lovely hotel. Been up there many times to have a drink on video, on camera. And as you can see, this flotilla of boats are heading out to play in the caves and cliffs around Ponta da Piedade. Now we'll talk a little bit about Ponta da Piedade and explain exactly what's going on there, because there's lots going on right here, right now. We're flying over the Caravela de Boa Esperança, which is actually a replica of the old Age of Discoveries boats that they used to cruise around the world on, and discovered that the world wasn't flat after all that. Here's the market on the right hand side, this big white building down here. And yeah, this is the old town on the right hand side. So it gets pretty lively down there as well. Lots of bars and pubs and restaurants and young people having a great time during summer. If you're interested, check out this video about a few pubs. We had a little bit of a pub crawl down in the Lagos Old Town. So I'm just linking it up here on the top right. So if you're not into that, don't go there. You can head out to the west, or to the east actually, to the left here. And this beach is the beginning of a beautiful, long, arcing, golden beach called Meia Praia. And you can walk all the way down to the Algarve estuary. And we did. And when we walked all the way across the Algarve, so if you want to backtrack and have a look at those videos or remember those videos, we walked along that particular route. But let's jump back into the boat and head out to those cliffs and caves that are just shimmering in this gorgeous ocean. Who does the...
So we start off with the Romans that came to Portugal about 200 BC, and they set up a lot of illegal systems. They set up a lot of little towns. They cut a lot of the Alentejo into the estates, the farming estates, which is still known today. The vineyards. You can correct me on any of this stuff.
And the garum.
Garum, yeah, the fish paste.
Ah, yeah. That's what they used to make a Boca de Rio, right?
Boca do Rio, Martinhal.
That's right. So we've got the Romans. They were using Lagos as a port. Its port origins have been for about 4,000 years. So they said the Celts used it before then. And then fall of the Roman Empire about 200 AD. And then the whole of Portugal pretty much fell into chaos. There was different tribes that came through.
After the Roman Empire collapsed.
After the Roman Empire collapsed, yeah. So I think it was 711 AD that the Moors crossed Gibraltar. And there was the Berbers, the Egyptians, the Yemenis, and they all settled at different places through Portugal. And this was quite an opulent time. In the Algarve, they were met with little resistance. Because
there weren't many people here as well, were there?
No, and I think the people had been poorly governed for so long, so they actually, and the Moors brought a lot of new farming methods. They brought new crops. They brought oranges, lemons, cotton. One other one that's significant: almonds.
Almonds.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, and carob.
Yeah.
And then there was the Christian Crusaders. I think Portugal became an entity or a country. Is it 1143?
Yes.
1143, okay. And then we go into the Age of Discoveries. And this was, I think, when Lagos was really at its heyday, because on the map it's the furthest west port. And it was a main stopping place for Southwest Europe before going to America. So there was Henry the Navigator, which is famous.
Yeah, and there's a big statue of him just over here, isn't there?
There is. Yeah, he looks like an English old pop singer. That's what we laugh about. He looks like Cilla Blacker, that statue of him.
It does.
So the Age of Discoveries, he was the son of King João I and his English bride. He loved opulence and he wanted to convert Africa to Christianity pretty much by force. And this was how he figured out that he could start trading and fund his expeditions. And it was about this time that really Portugal was mapped how we know it today. So we've got the old slave market up in the top right.
It was 11... When was it?
The Arabs had a lot more progression because they ruled on camels, and that's how they would basically like have all the trade routes, wasn't it? Was on foot.
But Bruno, what are you saying? That the reason the discovery started is because they were looking for wheat.
It started as a wheat crisis,
Yeah.
so that's why they raided Ceuta. It was an important granary
In North Africa, yeah.
in North Africa, and that's why later on it started to be a post. And as you know, we have the Dom Sebastião statue here in Lagos, that he was killed in the north of Africa in the Battle of Alcácer Quibir at the age of 19 years old. And that's why we end up in the succession crisis, and then this ended up with being under the Spanish domain later on because of a marriage between the Portuguese queen and Philip something, I think.
So there you have it, a proper Portuguese lesson. It's great, and we thought we were just going to go for a sea safari. You guys are amazing. And there's lots more than that, trust me.
Anchors, which the Archaeological Society, I don't know, have some sort of significance. So they were telling us about that.
Local law has it that that house on the hill was actually belonging to Angeline Jolie and Brad Pitt not so long ago.
Like the extinction of dinosaurs.
70 million years ago, right? Yeah. I thought this was more recent rocks, but I've always worked in the marine industry, so it's sort of become more second nature, I think. So the draft it's less than a metre really by the time you've got everything trimmed up, so we can really get into places with quite small depth.
Wow.
Which is quite nice, more so than even some of the living boats you see.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment we've got 2.5. And it looks like there's a load of seaweed on the bottom there again. Is it plankton that's
This is the Titanic over here, and this is the iceberg up here, right? And the charging elephant. Yeah, there you go. Oh, look, an elephant or a woolly mammoth. What normally happens in a sea safari? We cruise out of the harbour,
cruise out the
go and see some
harbour.
amazing rock formations, which are stunning, like woolly mammoths and whatnot. What else?
We head around the corner, then we anchor up somewhere lovely that's sheltered, and we put the paddle boards in the water, and then people can explore either by paddleboard, by swimming. We might be able to do some swim throughs in the caves, and then we finish it all off with a few saltgrash
Sounds fantastic.
and a little bit of sunshine. So that one's more impressive actually.
Ah, this is the life, eh? This is what they call work. Oh no, man, it's such a beautiful morning. Generally the wind will pop up a little bit in the afternoon, but it's definitely making hay while the sun shines here with these beautiful calm waters off Ponta da Piedade, which is right over here.
The problem is when the kayaks come out behind you.
Lucy, you reckon you're going to get in there?
Oh no, don't set me a challenge. Now
Go on,
I'm getting nervous.
Ah.
Let's have a little look.
Are we anchoring right now?
Yeah, the problem is there's all this muck on the water, so it's not going to be so good, but it's quite nice here.
Are you looking for visibility for snorkeling, huh?
I don't think the visibility is so good today, which is a shame. But what we can do is put the boards in and we can do a little bit around the caves.
Sounds
If you
perfect.
want to do that.
Yeah. It's definitely time for a little snack, although this is not always included in these tours, but this is definitely happening today. 3 go. Ah, you missed out. Okay, let's do it again, let's do it again.
Biggest one.
Cheers, guys, thank you. Verstil de nata.
Saúde.
Saúde.
Cheers, obrigado.
Saúde.
Cheers. Oh, it's all dropping off.
Ah,
So Bruno, sorry, what was that? Is that sargassum or what?
No, that's Rugolopteryx okamure. It's an invasive seaweed that came from Southwest Asia, Japan,
And the Northwest Pacific here.
Pacific.
Northwest, where Japan is, yeah.
Yes.
And how do you think it got here?
I think it got in Marseille. They say it started with oyster spat that comes from Japan, the Japanese oyster.
Uh-huh.
And they say it started this way, so it has been invading all along Mediterranean and south coast of Spain and Portugal, and it's already in Azores and in Madeira Island.
And wasn't there a theory that it could have come in ballast water from...
It's possible as well.
Yeah,
So I think it's one, but the main one is on oyster spat.
And you say it's poisonous, or it's not poisonous,
It's
but
not poisonous. It's toxic for local species because
Okay.
it produces some compounds, and local fish cannot eat it, and neither local sea urchins. But in their environment, they graze on this seaweed.
And it's just pervasive and it's coming all over the beaches and it's
Yes.
causing a problem, eh?
Yes, it's covering like some places. 100% of the sea bottom is covered with that seaweed.
Wow. No. Are there any seasons where it's better or worse, or
I think now is the time it's getting worse.
okay? In summer.
In early spring, summer, and in the winter time was almost there was some, but not as much as now. And sometimes we have the shift on the swell, and this builds up at the beach side.
Man, that was good. Pretty good. We're living the dream right now. So as far as I understand it, we're just having another second session of paddleboarding here. We're just going to go and jump off the edge and then go paddle out around here because it's just such a beautiful little spot. Why wouldn't you?
Okay.
it's up to you really. I mean, all you can really do is put it up on the anchor line. It could be
In the water, yeah? There you go, total pro. Say it again. Yeah!
Brilliant.
I'm not doing that. This water is 16 degrees. It's freezing. How cold is it?
It's great. Yeah, very refreshing. Almost as good as the Stargrush.
Well, it's 16 degrees. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Not quite Wim Hof.
As we cruised back, I reflected on what made this morning so absolutely spectacular. Apart from the absolute obvious that it's a gorgeous environment with these incredible golden cliffs and deep blue water, green water. Actually, it's quite green today. It was interesting. And I know there's probably a biological reason for that, and I should have asked Bruno. But anyway, I just want to thank Lucy for such an amazing morning. It really was great. And what actually set us apart, when you look around and you see all these heavy traffic of kayaks and people packed like sardines on little boats trolling through the caves with diesel fumes coming out. This boat is absolutely gorgeous. It's so stable. It really is stable. And it gets to places where you don't really have to be around people. You can just be around the people that you're with. And you're mobile, and you can jump off, and you can go snorkel, and you can paddleboarding. It just felt like we were in the first class seats, and the economy class seats were down, in the packs and around. And you get this exclusive feeling. You like snacks and drinks on board. It's just, you can bring your own picnic. You can do whatever you want. And so it definitely is a cut above the rest. So, Lucy, it's been an amazing experience. Thank you so much. I will never forget this, actually. I live here, but I don't get to do this every day. Most of the days I'm sitting here where I am right now, sitting editing in my office. And it's not often we get to experience this absolute beauty of the Algarve. But that's why we live here. So if you are living here, get out and do things like this. And if you're on holiday, make sure you don't miss this. It'll be an experience of a lifetime. I promise you, it feels so different when you're out there as opposed to when you're just watching a video on YouTube. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. I have no idea what's going on next week, but we're going to do something fun. So you do this every day, Lucy. This is fantastic. What a job, huh?
We do this every day, but the conditions are different every day. Like today we've got a little bit of a swell. But it doesn't stop us from having fun.
Really, yeah. I mean, look at this colour. It's unbelievable. It's like, with your naked eye, no filters, man. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So we've got the green and the gold.
Green and the gold. Sounds like the Springbok, right, BT? AlgarveAddicts.com